Welcome back. My name is Tyler Sutherland of the Tyler Sutherland Mortgage Group and the SaltLakeMortgageVoice.com. My team works with Veritas Funding, Utah's #1 purchase lender and recipient of the 2013 Best in State Mortgage Banker. Our reputation has been built upon providing an unmatched knowledge of loan programs, the best operations department in the business, and most importantly, providing a level of service that is truly second to no one. In this video, we are going to discuss what we look for in the documentation requested in the previous video in order to obtain an accurate loan approval. Applying for a mortgage used to be easy. You would complete an application and the lender would pull your credit score. More often than not, you'd be approved. But nowadays, paperwork documenting every fact of your financial life is required. There's no escape regardless of how good your credit might be and how much money you make. With a little preparation, however, you can save a lot of time and hassle by having all of your documents ready when your mortgage professional needs them. In the previous video, I provided you with a detailed list of items along with some forms that need to be signed in order to acquire a home loan. It is very important that all applicable documentation, including the signed forms, are provided to your mortgage professional as quickly as possible. Once we receive the documentation, an initial review takes place. At this point, we ensure that all applicable documents have been received and do a thorough review to determine if any additional documents are needed. So let's discuss our review of the income documentation. We review the W-2s, 1099s, the paycheck stubs, and tax returns to validate that we have the correct income calculations and to ensure the loan is structured in a way that best meets your financial goals. Sometimes, income's very straightforward. Other times, when a person has multiple sources of income or bonuses, commissions, significant overtime, shift differentials, or they're self-employed, a more detailed review of income is required, and sometimes we need additional documentation. Now, let's discuss credit report requirements. If any late payments, credit inquiries, address discrepancies, name variations, and so on are identified on your credit report, they may need some explanation. Oftentimes, we will ask for letters of explanation on these items as well as income and asset items. Liabilities, or monthly debts that you are required to pay, or somebody else pays, require some additional documentation. Divorce decrees and orders of support demonstrate child support and alimony owed, as well as child support and alimony received. If you co-sign on a loan for someone, and you do not want to count that liability against your debt-to-income ratio, we will ask for documentation providing that the other party consistently makes the payment. If the liabilities have been recently paid off, we will need to show that the money was available to pay the liability off without borrowing other money to pay it off, and to document the proof that it was in fact paid off. Each person's financial situation is very different, which requires us to provide documentation for each individual situation. And finally, one of the most important items that we review are your assets. Assets are the funds used for down payment, closing costs, paying off liabilities, and any reserve requirements that are required by the loan program. Reserves are assets left in the bank after the down payment and closing costs have been paid and the loan is closed. Documenting assets can be frustrating and challenging. So, to start, I would like to explain why we will need the items we request. Funds used to purchase or refinance a home must either be seasoned or sourced. Seasoned means that the assets have been in the bank account where they're held for longer than 60 days. If any funds have been deposited into these accounts that are non-payroll deposits anytime in the 60 days before the loan application, the funds must be sourced. Sourced means that we must be able to accurately demonstrate where these funds or deposits came from. Providing an accurate and understandable paper trail of where these deposits came from is what we mean when we say sourced. As a rule of thumb, it is best to just try and source any deposit over $100. There are, in fact, different requirements for different income levels for sourcing deposits, but that becomes very difficult to explain in a single video. A paper trail would consist of all supporting documentation showing where the money came from and the funds being deposited into your accounts. As a result of all of the fraud that took place over the last decade, these rules and requirements of sourcing funds have gotten very strict. It is a little difficult to understand why it is so important, but the bottom line is that this often plays a huge part in a borrower's ability to repay the loan. For instance, if you deposit into your account from another loan or a credit card cash advance, this plays a part in the debt-to-income ratio because you have to pay that money back. If the money was gifted, there are certain loan programs that allow gifts. Other programs don't, and other programs have certain requirements in place in order to receive a gift. And finally, we need to verify that the money being deposited is legal money, which makes sense to all of us. I wish there were a way around some of these challenges and frustrations, but rules are rules, and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, USDA, and all of the sponsoring entities require that funds are seasoned or sourced, which means that no matter which lender you are working with, no matter where you go, you will be required to provide the same documentation. We will discuss in depth in a later video ways to manage your asset accounts and your liabilities in order to make this part of the loan process easier on you. Again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It will truly help us to provide you a financing experience that is unlike any you will find. You will be receiving several more videos that are very important and important to truly understand the loan process. I urge you to take 5 or 6 minutes each day to learn a little more about the loan process. After all, this will be one of the most major purchases you will make in your lifetime. If you have any questions whatsoever through this process, my team and I are always eager and excited to assist you. We can be reached at 801-574-4293 or via email at mortgage@tylersutherland.com. Also, please feel free to visit our website, www.saltlakemortgagevoice.com, to take advantage of some of the educational information and the mortgage calculator and home search tools that we have provided to help you through your home search or refinance.